Welcome back to another video, guys. In the last video, we have discussed what is HTML, how to create a HTML file, and what is the basic structure of an HTML file. In this video, I will be talking about the tags and their attributes. Let's start. We can classify tags in a broad way based on their structure and based on their use. So based on structure, we have two types of tags. The first one is tag with opening and closing tags, and the next one is self-closing tags. For example, here the HTML tag has opening and closing tags. Same like head, title or body, they have closing tags. But for the dog type, it doesn't have a closing tag. Another example for self-closing tags are meta tags. They don't have a closing tag and they are used for the SEO purposes. Next type of classification we can give to the tags are based on their use. We have block level tags and inline tags. A block level element means that it occupies the entire space of the parent. Parent means the container. Our div tag, p tag, heading tags, they are all block level elements. They start from a new line each time, forming a block-like structure. Inline elements occupy the space as needed within the space defined by the main element. Unlike block-level elements, they do not begin with new lines. Some of the inline elements are anchor tag, span tag, image tag, etc. Now we know the classification we can give to the tags. Now I will talk about the most commonly used tags. The div tag provides a generic container. It is one of the most used tags in HTML. For headings, we have heading tags h1 to h6. As the number increases, the font size decreases. Next, for text blocks, we have p tag. I have given a new line here, but the browser doesn't recognize the new line and all the text are in the same line and wraps when the width is fully taken. This is because the HTML automatically trims the white space and treat it as a single space. If you want to give a new line, we can give using BR tag, line break tag. You can see that BR tags are self-closing tags. It doesn't need a closing tag. Paragraph tag, heading tags, divisions, they are all block level tags. For inline tags, span is an example for an inline tag. If I give background color for the S tag and span tag, you can see the difference between a block level tags and inline tags here. The heading tag is a block tag and takes the whole width of the parent, and for the inline tag, it occupies the space as needed, and the height of the both inline and block level tags are the height of its content. Next we have image tag. Here the image img is a tag and source is the attribute. The source contains the path to that image in the server, and alt, short for alternative. If the image is not found in the server, the text inside the alt will be shown here. For example, if I change it, you can see that this image is not found. So it will show text inside the alt attribute. But if the image is found, the content inside the alt will not be shown. You can see here the span and the img tag both are inline tags. That's why it's in the same line. As did before, we can use BR tag to insert a line break. Another commonly used tag is an anchor tag. An anchor tag is represented by letter A. The text inside the anchor tag is shown in the website with an underline, and the link inside the href is where the link will go once we click on it. To make it open in a new tab, we have another attribute called target, and if we give the blank as the value, then when we click on it, it will be opening new tag. Next we have another block level tag called table tag. As the name suggests, it is used to create a table. We have table head and table body inside the table tag, and the TR represents table row, TH for table head, TD for table data. You can see that by default, the browser has treated the table head as bold text. Here in the first row, inside table head, we have 2 columns. To increase the number of columns, all you have to do is add another TH tag and add TD for its data. If you want to increase the number of rows in the body, you can copy paste the TR tag as many times as you want and change the value. I have told you before that if you give spaces or insert any tags, the HTML won't treat it as a new line. But we can use pre-tag. It stands for pre-formatted text. The spaces and the new lines will treat as it is. The content started from here because you can see that there is a space here. And for the next commonly used tags, we have our form tag. It also has an opening and closing tag, and it should include 2 attributes, action and method. When the user submits a form, what should happen? That's what action defines. And how the form should be submitted to the server, that's what method will define. And the most used tag inside the form is the input tag. Since it's an inline tag, I will wrap the content in a div. The input tag is a self-closing tag and must include an attribute type. Type text means we can type letters or numbers or special characters. And if we change the type to password, the input text will be shown as a star. We have type number only for numbers. Here we can type the letters. You can see that we have so many options here. If we want multi-line inputs, we can use text area. You can see that by default, browser will support resizing the text area. If the height of the content inside the text area is more than the text area height, then the text area will provide us scroll option. Next we have radio inputs. To create a radio input, all we have to do is change the input type to radio and give a name for the inputs. We can select only one radio input at a time. Remember that for the radio input groups, make sure the name value is same. If they are different, both can be selected. See? Another type of input is checkbox. It's similar to the radio inputs. The visual difference is that radio inputs are of round and the checkbox is of square. And the functional difference is that in the radio type inputs, we have 2 input group with the same name and I can only select one at a time. And for the checkbox type, we have 2 inputs here with the same name and I can select multiple items at a time. Next we have the drop down. To create a drop down, we need the select tag and the items listed here are the options inside the select tag. When the user submits the form, the value inside the attribute value will be submitted to the server. And to submit the form, we need a submit button. The button type should be submit or otherwise form won't be submitted. For example, if I give type button, fill the form and submit, nothing happens. But for type submit, if I fill the form and when I press the submit, form is submitted. Remember we have given form action somewhere. When the user submit the form, we are telling the server to redirect to here. We have another type of button called reset. As the name suggests, it is used to reset the form we have filled. These are some of the most common tags we use in HTML page creation. In the next video, I will teach you how to style your HTML page using CSS, types of CSS, basic structure of CSS. Make sure you subscribe this channel and click on the bell icon to get the notification when I upload that video. If you like this video, drop a like for me. And if you have any suggestions or doubts, please mention it in the comment section. As for now, bye.